Of course it is. Alrighty then. This week on the Erotic Awakening Podcast, episode 755, Kink-Dispenser with Pirate Cook, Omegaverse, and the Pillion movie review. Let's try that again. Blah, blah, blah. This week on the Erotic Awakening Podcast, episode 755, Kink-Dispenser with Pirate Cook, Omegaverse, and Pillion movie review. Welcome to Erotic Awakening, an exploration of all things erotic. If you are offended by adult topics or prohibited by law, it's recommended you stop listening right now. First, a heartfelt thanks to the amazing patrons of Erotic Awakening, each and every one of you. Your support literally keeps the podcast going. I invite each of you to join in supporting this podcast. Okay, let's see how I can do this. If you're not already a patron of the show, I invite you to join us. To join us. Okay, there we go. If you are not already a patron of the show, I invite you to join us so it can continue. Just visit patreon.com/erotic awakening. I invite you to join others. I invite you to join the current. Okay. First, a heartfelt thanks to the amazing patrons of Erotic Awakening, each and every one of you. Your support literally keeps this podcast going. If you are not already a patron of the show, I invite you to join the current supporters so the podcast can continue. Just visit patreon.com/erotic awakening and sign up for as little as $5 a month. Every dollar counts. Hi, everyone. I'm Dawn, and I'm here this week to continue the conversations on power exchange, polyamory, sacred sexuality, and everything in between. So, our interview today, this week, whenever you're listening to this, I was at the home of someone that loves to be called a kink dispenser. And I've been wanting to interview him for a while and finally had the moment to do it. So, what's a kink dispenser? I've heard that people don't like to be called that, but I found someone that enjoys the label and takes pride in his service to others. So I just had this, like I said, I just had this conversation with Alvin, aka Pirate Cook, this morning. And let's see. And let's get some questions answered. Now, if you'd like to share a cup of coffee or a conversation or talk about service topping or anything else, here's where you can find me in person. Coming up in a couple of days, I will be at the New Mexico Leather and Kink Fair in Albuquerque. That's April 11th, 2026. I'll be presenting and vending. Primal Arts in Baltimore, May 7 through 11, presenting. Twisted Trist, Ohio, June 11 through 14th, presenting. I'll be checking out an event in South Dakota this July. I'll be at Seek, a submissive retreat in Wisconsin, October 8th through 11. I think I'm presenting. And then Satyricon in Madison, November 14th, presenting and vending. Lots of other events get ironed out. Keep up with all the places I'm presenting or vending my online classes, which are getting ready to start up again soon, book news, discounts, and more via the Erotic Awakening newsletter. And when you sign up, get your EA shout out like Ella in Michigan. Head over to eroticawakening.com and subscribe to the newsletter today. Whew. Well, it's been a couple of weeks. I have been all the way to Yuma and am now on my way back to Albuquerque so that I can teach and vend and spend some time with Big D. Now, while I've been on my travels, I learned a new word. I love it when I learn new things. The word that I learned was Omegaverse. Now, those of you that have heard about the stories that I listen to while I'm driving around the country would go, Dawn, you didn't know this word? Well, no, I didn't. Um, I just listened to stories that I think are hot. I didn't realize there was a word for it, but the word is Omegaverse. And I was having a conversation with a friend that went to a book writers convention, an authors convention, a naughty authors convention. And this friend of mine, she stopped at one of the authors' tables, and the author asked her if she knew anything about the Omegaverse. And though my friend didn't, she said she did, and that her husband enjoyed it. And the author was excited and replied that she loved it when men got into that genre and husband under the bus, but she wasn't sure which bus it was. She still didn't know what a megaverse was. She found an excuse to quickly leave the table. And then when she was away from it, she Googled a megaverse. So, a megaverse, I'm going to give you a little bit of definition from Wikipedia. Now, I looked at a couple of different places, and each place kind of described it a little bit differently. So, let me kind of give you an overview. Like I said, this isn't going to be like what you may think a megaverse is. This is the Wikipedia version. Okay. So, a megaverse, also known as ABO, an abbreviation for Alpha, Beta, Omega, is a subgenre of erotic fiction. The genre supposes the existence of a dominance hierarchy wow, among humans, as similar to that associated in popular myth with wolves, that is composed of dominant alphas, neutral betas, and submissive omegas. In the Omegaverse, this hierarchy determines how people interact with one another in romantic, erotic, and sexual context. So it says that though tropes of this style of writing can be found as far back as the 60s, the genre formally originated in the 2010s as a subgenre of erotic fan fiction, usually same sex, and it was a fusion of like werewolf fiction and the Mpreg genre. And I had to look up Mpreg because I didn't know, and it's male pregnancy. So the books I've read did not have male pregnancy in it, and the same sex part of it was usually the alpha and the beta. There was a woman thrown in there with the ones that I listened to. So it could be an alpha and a beta, and it could have been all three. Alpha, beta, omega, an alpha looking for an omega. And then there was one where there was the ones that I listen to, a lot of times there's like a psychic connection between the characters. There's uh a time of the female being in heat. So all the men or all the males get drawn towards her, things like that. So a lot of, I'm not even sure what other word to use, but when I've been listening to it, it's been werewolves and shapeshifters or humans that are attracted to werewolves in their human form and later find out they're werewolves, things like that. So come to find out, that is a megaverse. I've already been listening to it. And that's the bus that she threw her husband under. with, without knowing it. So, um, she was kind of mortified that she had done that. For me, I'm like, woohoo, now I know what subject to look up my next books under. And I've added about 10 more titles to my listening list. So, yay, Omegaverse. Again, new word for me. I love it. Okay, now the other thing that I want to do, and I thought I was going to wait until I had watched the movie for a second time. I mentioned on here that I had or was going to go watch Pillion, and I watched it in Rehoboth Beach, which was fantastic. Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, has been known as LGBTQ friendly for decades at this point, before LGBTQ was the way that oh shit. Hmm. Anyway, so um blah 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 blah. So I ended up seeing it in Rehoboth Beach, which was just great because it was across the road from my nephew and his husband's place that I was staying. And Rehoboth Beach is awesome because it's been known for decades as being LGBTQ friendly. So I love in Rehoboth. I think if I moved over into that area, that would be the area I would move to. Anyway, so like I said, I was gonna wait on doing a review of this film. Oh my God, Dawn, just completely start over. Okay. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is to give a review on the movie. What is it? The Dom-Com, Dom-Com, Dom-Com. Where's the comedy? Where was the comedy in there? If it's a Dom-Com, doesn't that mean comedy? I didn't see much comedy. Anyway, your thoughts may differ, but that is how it's being labeled as a Dom-Com. I was going to wait on doing a review of this film until I got a chance to see it a second time. Now, the first time I got to see it in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, which is it was the perfect place to see it. Rehoboth Beach has been known as LGBTQ friendly for decades at this point. And yeah, if I move anywhere, that's one of the places on my list. Anyway, I got to see the movie there, and that was just really cool. I ended up getting triggered twice in the movie. Probably won't happen to anybody else, but because of the personal things that I'm going through, the movie hit on both of them. So I had really hot moments during the movie, and then I had crying moments. But like I said, that's just me. Your experience is probably going to be different. But that's why I wanted to see it a second time, because I would know those two things are coming up, and then I could just concentrate on the story. Now, I love Alexander Skarsgård. I, his acting and just him, he's cute. He's absolutely cute. I mean, anyway, But Alexander Skarsgård and Harry Melling, they did a phenomenal job on this movie. They really did. There are some moments, um, there are some moments in the movie that if you haven't been in a master-slave relationship, they're not going to make sense to you. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of us found some of those same moments as hot, 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 which is why I watch it again so that I can re-see, is that even a word? Review the hot scenes, because damn. Um, there's a part in the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away as it's in the trailer. But when Alexander Skarsgård says, "What am I going to do with you?" And the reply is, "Anything you want, really," with a smile. And then Alexander unzips his leather motorcycle pants. Holy shit. And then what happens after that? They're not shy about showing what happens after that. I'm not going to tell you. Of course, and of course, there were pieces during the movie that frustrated me, and a lot of people are talking about those pieces. I found them frustrating, but I still found this movie better than Shades of Grey, better than The Secretary. There's a couple more out there, but I haven't seen them yet. And um, God, the parts that frustrate me, I don't even want to tell you yet because it's actually kind of hard to see the movie in the theater. I'm hoping it gets to more cities so more people can see it. So I don't want to spoil it for you. So there's pieces and parts that frustrated me, including the ending. Why did the ending have to be like that? Now, someone later told me that the movie is based off a real. That gave me of course, there were pieces and parts that frustrated me. I guess it wouldn't be a movie if it had been a healthy dynamic. Mm. Again, no spoilers. Maybe later I will tell more about it. But because of a few scenes, and now that I know about the parts that triggered me, I can get through those again easily. I need to watch it again in a corner myself, no popcorn, and because a hand needs to be available. Just saying. Anyway, if you have a different thought about any topic on the show or my Pillion review, which isn't really a review because I didn't do any spoilers, I can be found at Dawn_Awakening or Erotic_Awakening on Fetlife, Erotic Awakening on Instagram, EA Podcast Dawn on TikTok, or just email me at dawn@eroticawakening.com. Be a part of the Erotic Awakening podcast community. You can become a patron of the show and get early access to the podcast, a free copy of the audiobook Polyamory Toolkit, free ebooks, discount on monthly Zoom classes, member-only Discord not safe for work channel, and more. Find all the goodies at patreon.com/awakening today. And help others find Erotic Awakening. Give us high ratings wherever you listen to the podcast, or more importantly, tell your friends about the show and join the conversation with other listeners. Use the links from the Erotic Awakening website for our interactive Discord channel, which is open to all listeners. Until next time, may your journey be filled with passion, joy, and peace. Bye, everyone. Bow, chicka bow, bow. Bow, chicka bow. And bow some more.